Well, we've been talking a little bit about Masters of the Universe recently. And to kind of recap, I think most of us were like, a live action Masters of the Universe, huh? And especially like when the first pictures came out and we saw Prince Adam dressed in like a 90s style puffy pink shirt being chased by mall cops.
That was my favorite part.
I was like, okay, now Teela looks great. I mean, she looks great. But I'm like, okay, the sword looks really good, but oh boy. But lest we forget, Travis Knight is directing it. And he's done 2 major films that we can think of, and both of them were great. The Bumblebee film, which is the best live action Transformers movie they ever did. And he did Kubo and the Two Strings, which was awesome. So they get him in to direct it. So then Rob and I tell you guys about the fact that they showed us a bit of a preview for it at CinemaCon, and we were really surprised how good it looked. Then I told you guys that I've now heard from a couple of different people who saw this thing and said it's amazing. Like they said they're shocked because the one person I know was not expecting anything good, but they really loved it. And another person saying it really had the feel of the first Thor movie, which to me is music to my ears because I love the first Kenneth Branagh Thor movie. Well, now other kind of reports are coming out from people, including people saying, yeah, Jared Leto is actually really good in this. He's, of course, Skeletor. This comes to us from Comic Book Movie, who writes the following report. They say this. They say, those comedic elements extend to He-Man's life on Earth with the reason Prince Adam of Eternia has made our planet his home, described as satisfying. You can learn more about that. He adds, character designs, very faithful to the toys. Very faithful to the toys, right down to the weapons and the vehicles. It feels like a true cinematic translation of the original designs from the costumes to the sets. As for Leto's Skeletor, he's reportedly great in the role and is basically channeling Tim Curry, almost a cross between Frankenfurter from the Rocky Horror Picture Show and Darkness from Legend. His face is CGI, so I'll reveal that. And apparently, he's really good. One of the first things that Rob and I talked about after they showed us the preview for it at CinemaCon was, guys, these costumes, because they showed us the full lineup of the character costumes when we were at CinemaCon. And like this isn't a translation. This is right from the animated screen to the live action screen. The character designs, the costuming at least, is so accurate to the original stuff. Now, you know me, that's not always a good thing. Like, I don't think you should be, the job of a filmmaker is not to be as faithful as possible to the original material. It's to make the best movie possible. And sometimes you shouldn't directly translate stuff. Sometimes you should update it. But for good or for bad, Rob, you remember this. We looked at that costuming design. We were like, this is the perfect coming to real life. It looks exactly right. Now, that'll turn some people on, maybe not so much for others. So that part of the reviews, Rob, that I'm hearing coming in is very faithful to what we already saw, because we know those costumes are great. But again, hearing from more and more people, it's leaking out that have seen this thing. I don't think they made those folks sign an NDA, to be honest with you. And no, I'm being serious, because this wasn't a focus group test screening. Because there's a difference, Rob, like you know this. There's a difference between a focus group
right
and a wider general test screening. Normally, they make them sign NDAs and all these things. I don't think they made these people sign NDAs. And I'm just speculating here, okay? I don't think they made them sign NDAs. And which, for those of you who don't know what an NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. It means you can't talk about it.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Zapier. You know, one of the biggest game changers of the past year has been AI. But let's be real, just talking about AI doesn't actually make your day any more productive. What does make it more productive is finding tools to put AI to work for you. And that's where Zapier comes in. Zapier is the easiest way to take AI and plug it directly into the apps and processes that you're already using every day. No IT bottlenecks, no complexity, just results. For me, it's been about saving time on repetitive stuff so I can focus on the work that matters and I actually enjoy. And it's not just me. Over 3.4 million companies are already using Zapier to streamline everything from sales and marketing to IT and HR. With their AI orchestration platform, you can connect top AI models like ChatGPT or Claude right into the apps you already use. So whether it's automatically enriching leads, coaching your sales team, or even resolving IT tickets, Zapier makes it simple. Guys, join the 3.4 million companies already automating with Zapier and transform how you work with Zapier and AI. Get started for free by visiting zapier.com/Campea. That's zapier.com/Campea.
But Rob, I wonder if they knew full damn well they had a really good movie on their hands. And it wasn't an oopsie, an oversight to not get them to sign NDAs. That's just me purely speculating. Anyway, Rob, what do you think about these other reactions we're hearing coming out, and what's standing out to you?
Well, I just wanted to say that when you say it looked exactly like the animated series, it does. But you have to understand, if all the animated costumes were made badass for live action, so they don't feel like animated characters. You're looking at these things and the costumes, like you can see with the Tila costume, they have the right colors, but it's been made flesh for live action. And like some of the costumes that blew me away was like the sorceress, the look of the sorceress's costume, Idris Elba as Man-at-Arms. It just looks way cool. I mean, look, I only bought He-Man action figures in 1982. I didn't become a fan. It was before there was an animated show. I just thought they were interesting action figures. So I had that first release with, Merman and Man-at-Arms and He-Man and stuff.
Merman.
But I have to say, I love me my action figures, John. And when we were seeing that stuff at CinemaCon, I'm like, all of these things are badass. They're all the design work was just incredible. And look, I've said on the show a million times that you have Travis Knight, who I actually interviewed before he made Bumblebee. And it was the only time I met him, and we sat down and talked about his approach to the Transformers franchise and how much it meant to him, because he was of that age when Transformers were new, and the same is probably true of He-Man. And I couldn't imagine a better fit for a director, especially after seeing Kubo and seeing what he did with Bumblebee. And then, I've been singing the praises of production designer Guy Dias, who is the perfect guy because he would take, he's the guy that's going to take this seriously. If this makes any sense, Guy Dias is going to be like, okay, if the animated show, the original iteration of the animated He-Man is going to be translated into reality, we have to make it badass and yet still represent what it originally was. I mean, that would be his mission in life. And he did it. You could see that he did it. Him and his team, he works with his wife, and he always brings in the best people. And the cast, I have to say, if you told me before CinemaCon last year, you're going to be excited for a He-Man movie, I'm like, oh, pshaw.
No chance.
I would never be.
No chance.
And look, I love Frank Langella as Skeletor in Masters of the Universe. I did. Dolph was a little bit of a board, but but this movie looks seriously badass. I think this is going to be, in this day and age, I bet we're going to get somewhere between Dungeons and Dragons and Lord of the Rings. That's what I'm hoping for.
Which is exactly what it should be. By the way, one other quote I should read here from the folks who are comic movies. They said this: Easter eggs plentiful, but is this movie good? My sources really enjoyed the film. Judging by the reception of everyone else, so this is important, it was received like really positively. Pretty much everyone at the screening liked it. It has the potential to be a massive hit. The crowd seemed to loved it. It felt like it won people over. And Rob, I think, this is a good look at Alison Brie. I think that's a big comment there. Because fairly or unfairly, this isn't a movie that's coming out in a vacuum. This is a movie that, because everybody's going to have, I think most people kind of have a negative feeling towards it at first when they hear that this movie's coming. I think this is a movie that has to do exactly what that quote just said. It has to win people over. Like it won you and me. Like you and me are great examples of this. We're sitting in CinemaCon going, now they're doing a Masters of the Universe movie. Let's see how this goes. And then they showed us that crap and we're like, okay, you've won me over. I'm there. And it sounds like this is what it's done, at least the early screenings. It sounds like that's what it's done with the audiences there too. So good for them. Maybe this movie's actually really good. Anyway, guys,
That's really good.
question is for you. What do you think about this? The more positive reactions coming out about this Masters of the Universe film, a film that, frankly, probably not a lot of us had a lot of hope for, despite the fact that it had this incredible director attached to it. I don't know. Maybe it's turned out to be great. Whatever you guys think about this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.